From Lee, looking for his second goal of the hockey game.
Yeah, Moorhead's generating a lot more offense now, throwing it out to the point, cover in front of the net.
Overbo was almost trying to provide a deflection there on that Larson shot.
Moorhead's defense would do a nice job. They get the puck, they put it on net right away.
On it right now for the Spuds. Hinkemeyer Howe trying to get a pass across to Larson, but it's deflected away. Paul Huglin on it now for Roseau. Huglin into the zone. Muscled off there nicely by Frisch. Comes out of the back. Taken away there. And a chance now here for Parker Dronen. Dronen waiting for some reinforcements. Trying to get it on there to Kyler Clevin. Leaves it back for Howe. Hinkemeyer Howe at the side of the net. Still controlled behind the Roseau net. Hinkemeyer Howe backhanded a pass in front, but it comes on to Paul Huglin. 6:24 remaining in the period. Intercepted there by Grammer. Roseau is offside. They tag up and get back on. Nice pass from Carson Kavalevag on to Jack Stetz. Top line back out for the Spuds. Halliday back to get it for Roseau. Out of the reach of Verbout, backhanded by Kavalevag. This one will be an icing call against Moorhead, and a face-off coming deep in the Spuds' end.
Seems like it's picking it up a
little bit.
A little more opportunities, scoring opportunities, and
if you're Roseau, though, you like how this game has gone here. You might be getting outshot, but you're hanging right with them so far.
Well, look at that one goal. That was a screen and reflection, so.
Jacobson tries to win the race to the puck. Stetz, he lost an edge and lost control of it. Now back is Alex Verbout. Verbout gains the blue line. That pass through the slot, deflected wide. Comes all the way back out near center. Spuds are onto it there. O'Connell leaves it now to Rankler. Back to O'Connell, and score! What a fabulous goal! And it's 2-0. That was pretty.
Yeah, he moved the puck well there.
Great pass from Ranklev, and O'Connell knew what to do with it.
Flips it. Take a little 5-hole, popped it in.
At 11:30 of the second period, O'Connell with the goal.
That's the reason why those guys got 12 points now and 8 points respectively with Radcliffe and O'Connell.
Ranklev with his 12th point of the season. Goal number 3 for O'Connell. 2-0 Moorhead now. Both markers in the period. Didn't need a lot of room there, Coach. That's how they can get you so quickly.
Yeah, I love how they headman the puck really well and just slipped it in there, and O'Connell pops it in.
Back out near center. That'll be shot back into the zone. Larson, who got the first goal in this period. On to Westra. Out of the reach that time of Horan, who could have had a second goal earlier in the period. He hit the post.
No doubt, and like I said, the way this game's going, 3-0, that's a tough game for Roseau.
On the near side, here's Horan with it. Plays that one up, intercepted though by Taylor Johnson and shot back in. Behind the net, taken away that time by Jarrett Nelson. On the near side. Out of the reach of Hinkemeyer Howe. Gets it on to Ethan Frisch. Frisch trying to get that one down and right in on Lee. Nice move down low by Clevin. Gives it back. Hinkemeyer Howe with a backhander. Let's score! How did it go in?
I think it was deflected by Clevin there, number 10.
Hinkemeyer Howe backhanded it. Looked like Clevin got his stick on it. And it's 3-0. Another look on the ladies' replay.
Yeah,
wow,
he did.
Great deflection.
Once again in the 5-hole, and Clevin popped it in.
Kyler Clevin with his first of the season. Coming at the 12:56 mark of this second period. Goals a minute and a half apart.
Well, Hinkemeyer on his backhand, pops it in, throws it
Nice
on net, and
deflection.
just a little deflection there. Clevin snuck in behind the D. Got a little tip on it, misdirection.
Andy Lundbaum calling a timeout here to address his guys.
That's a great timeout. Like I said, in this game, the way it's going and the way Moorhead's playing offensively, a 3-0 game, that's a tough game because they're not generating a lot of offense, Roseau. And, those are the games where you go, hey, let's leave here 1-0, hopefully. But now it's 3-0 by Moorhead, so that's a deep hole in this game.
What is he telling his team right now?
He's just calming them down. We can't get flustered or frustrated. There's a lot of game left. You pop one, it's 3-1. But, just to calm the troops down and not allow Moorhead to gain any momentum.
Right.
I mean, they've got a couple nice goals there, and they're good, good assists, good deflections off it. So calming his boys down.
They are a quick strike on the offensive side here. It doesn't take them long to go from defense to offense for Moorhead. O'Connell from Ranclev at 11:30, then Clevin from Hinkemeyer-Howe at 12:56. And now here's a turnover. Verbout right off the draw. Circling with it. Gives it back over. Halliday with a shot that goes wide of the net. Giroy played it out in front. Shot for the point. Just goes wide from Josh Olson. Backhanded attempt. Goes wide of the net. Comes along the near wall. Here comes Isaac Hinkemeyer-Howe. Howe gives it over. Grammer with a shot and a save by Lee. In the slot. Back out to Verbout. He can't get to it. Kavalevog will send it in. 3:25 remaining, second period. The shot's 21-8 in favor of the Spuds. That one goes wide of Lance Leonard. 3-0 the score. All three goals in this second. Good hit on O'Connell, labeled by Giroy right in front of the Roseau bench. O'Connell might feel that one tomorrow. Hughlin trying to use his reach. On to Borden. Controlled just along the blue. A good hit back as Borden got clobbered there by Overbo. Getting feisty out here at the late stages of the second period. And then pass from Hughlin comes back. Dropped off by Borden. That shot goes wide of Leonard. On the far side, Stetz on it. Stetz trying to get out of the zone. Brings it out near center. He'll send that back in. The Spuds are offside. They got a tag back up. They're back on. But the Rams have it. Hughlin in. Hughlin with a shot and a save by Leonard. Close to the pipe there. And hangs on to it with 2:18 remaining in the second.
Roseau coming down the right side pretty hard here. Throwing things back on net. They're not really generating a lot of offense. What I liked what Moorhead's doing, though, is they're putting everything on the net and attacking the net and hopefully get some rebounds. And obviously they've got some deflections. And they also snuck in behind the D.
That one out of the reach of Hinkemeyer-Howe. Rams are offside. They lost control of it, though, as Frisch is on it. Ethan Frisch in, waiting, trying to center a pass. It was knocked away. Comes along the near side. Knocked away there from Verbout. Dumped back in as Giroy's on it. Tries to pivot away from his man. Nick Giroy. Taken away that time from Horan. Giroy back to it. We're down to the final 1:40 of the second. Good forecheck that time by Clevin, who got the third goal. Clevin takes the puck away. Kyler Clevin on it. Gives it back. Kavalevog plays it deeper out of the reach of Ranclev. Ranclev on it now. Taken away, though, from him by Nathan Adrian. Kavalevog back to get it. Trying to survey who's open. Goes behind the net to Grammer. 1:13 remaining in the second. Here's Luke Grammer. On to Stetz. Stetz trying to feather it back to him. Deflected. Comes out of the zone. Spuds have got to get back on side. And they do, but the Rams have it. Hughlin with it as we get the announcement of 1 minute remaining in the second period. Intercepted. Hinkemeyer-Howe into the zone. Isaac Hinkemeyer-Howe to the net. Knocked away. Back to Stetz. over. Frisch with a shot of the net that's deflected, comes wide. Onto the near side. Played away from him. Onto the stick of Olsen. Olsen trying to get out of the zone. Checked away from him. Back to Huglen. Final half minute of the period. Huglen backhands that. Parker Larson got the scoring started. Leaves it for Frisch. Trying to go for the home run pass to Parker Dronen, who's on it now. Dronen down to the final 13. Centered it. Comes through the slot and wide. Back to Larson. Larson throws it in. Good deflection by Dronen. And a great save by Lee to stay on top of that puck.
Yeah, you know, you always want to do your best hockey the last minute of every period, the first minute of every period. Yeah, you don't want to be going to the locker room with 7 seconds and popped in another one against you. But Moorhead's, you know, they're not stopping. They're going right after you.
7.6 remaining in the second. Off the draw. Larson over to Frisch. Frisch at the net. Loose puck went through the slot and wide. And the horn will sound to end the second period. An entertaining one here at the Moorhead Sports Center, which finds the Spuds tallying 3 goals. Parker Larson, Cole O'Connell, and Kyler Clevin, the goal scorers, as the Spuds showing their offensive bite there, Coach, in that second period.
Well, even in the end there, tummy face-offs aren't important.
Right.
They almost get they get a shot off net again with 3 seconds to go. You know, but yeah, they're picking it up another notch.
Defensively too, only allowing 9 shots on goal. They've been really solid on their back end.
No doubt you can't get to them.
Yeah.
You know, and part of it, you know, offensive starts in the defensive zone and defense starts in the offensive zone. And Roseau's having a tough time because of the aggressiveness of Moorhead.
At the end of 2 on the Taco John scoreboard, it reads Moorhead 3, Roseau nothing. Our intermission report is coming up right after this.
A new source for sports, WDAY's Extra.
In the fast-paced world of medicine, how can you keep up? What do you need to know, and what is just information overload? Join me, Tracy Briggs, every Wednesday night during the WDAY-WDAZ News at 10 as I talk to Essentia Health medical professionals about the latest developments in medicine, cutting-edge procedures, and everyday tips for keeping you and your family healthy throughout the year. It's Essentia Health Medical Insight every Wednesday on the WDAY-WDAZ News at 10.
Start your day with 970 WDAY AM and 93.1 FM. 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. First News. 7 to 9 a.m. Fargo Moorhead with Mike Capel. Get all your news, weather, traffic, sports, and conversation weekday mornings on 970 WDAY AM and 93.1 FM. The Mike McFeely Show.
No souvenirs for the family, but I bring back my first cold of the season, spreading germs all over the country. And so I just eat chicken noodle soup. I just don't like taking drugs.
As you drink your coffee.
Well,
weekday mornings, 9 to noon on 970 WDAY AM and 93.1 FM. This is the Cass Clay Intermission Report.
Back inside the Moorhead Sports Center, where the Spuds lead Roseau 3-0. Our pleasure to be joined by Moorhead Athletic Director Dean Haugo here in between the second and the third period. It's always fun when Roseau comes to town, and this has been a highly entertaining game so far.
Well, it sure is. There's so much history between the two programs, Dom. And, you know, John can speak to that far better than I can. And, you know, John's family, they're all Roseau folks. So, you know, there's just a lot of connections between the programs. And then you just look historically in Section 8 AA with the last 25 years, the number of times that one or the other has come out, and then the number of times they've played each other in the section final. This game has just a real neat tradition to it, and I think it's playing out real nicely.
I mentioned off the top of the broadcast, this is likely the first of 3. You know you're going to play them up there, but likely you're going to see them sometime in February.
You're going to see them up there, and then if history holds to what it is, whether it be a semifinal game or a final game, we always know that Roseau's going to be in the hunt at the end.
Well, we had a story during the first intermission. The amount of spotlight on your high school is amazing, and we'll start with hockey here. First off, let's go back to this summer when Hockey Day in Minnesota became a reality. How much was Fox Sports North in touch with you to say, hey, we'd love to have your program be involved in what is a celebration of the sport in the middle of January?
Well, I think the first that John mentioned it to me, they reached out to him first, and it was shortly after the end of last season.
Okay.
And so we were obviously very excited. The hardest problem and challenge we had was Hockey
Keep it quiet, right?
Hockey Day is January 20th, and we already had, schedules are done 12 months in advance. We were scheduled to play Warroad on that date, so we had to cancel that without really telling Warroad, who's a long-time traditional game for Moorhead, why we couldn't play. I think they understood that there was probably something cooking, knowing just the way the team was and all that. But it's really exciting for our kids. We cannot wait to take part in it, and it's well-deserved for our program.
What's the feedback been like? And we imagine that the entire city will be orange and black in a red and white area for St. Cloud on that day?
I think the community is very excited. Yeah. The tickets are on sale online right now for the general community, and parents had a kind of a pre-sale deal, but I expect us to have a great turnout down in St. Cloud. It's just, as it's a casual high school sports fan, I tune in Hockey Day every year.
Yeah.
It's just something you watch, and so I'm really excited for our kids to be able to take part.
You already mentioned the conflicted interest for your head coach. It's also going to be a conflicted weekend. That's where he went to school at St. Cloud State, so I know he's going to have some twisted emotions down there that weekend.
Yeah, he knows the lay of the land well, so yeah, it'll be a lot of fun for our kids to be down there.
Now let's talk about the TV show, because obviously that's a reality now, and with Dream State happening and the guys from FSN here following, I had a chance to visit with them before the game. What has that been like, and do you worry, I guess, exposure's never a bad thing, but do you worry about, I guess, maybe going to the kids' heads?
Well, I think it's a great question. With all of the good comes some challenges.
Right.
And really the challenge for our team right now and our kids and everybody around our program is, how do you try to find a normal in all of this? And, even for our coaches, John is mic'd up tonight. It's just different, it changes maybe a little bit how you go about your business, and not in a bad way, but everybody just has to get used to it and keep getting used to it. But I think everybody from our players on down to our coaches there, it's just high-class folks, so I don't have a lot of worries in any regard there. It's just dealing with that spotlight is certainly something our team and community is learning to do.
When's the AD get mic'd up? Is that happening on a day-to-day basis?
I sure hope they're not that desperate for material, Dom. Let's just say that.
I got to ask as well, the other winter sports are going here. We're going to have Sam Hybe join us here in a little bit, and what a run she's had to start her senior season. 46 points on Saturday of the 54 in Moorhead's win. She just broke her own school record for the second time already this season. What a start for that young woman.
She is so talented.
Yeah.
She's standing right behind us over here. And I told her on Saturday after the game, and I think, Dom, I've watched a lot of high school basketball. I don't know that I've seen a better performance all around. And I think the thing that, the casual person who sees that box score is sometimes people can assume that it happened in a way where that person was just going out of their way to do such a thing. She did everything within the flow of the game, to the point where most people watching the game had no clue that she had taken that kind of control. And she did it against, and let's keep this in mind, she did it against what I would consider to be a top 3 defensive team in Minnesota. White Bear Lake is a 5 straight state tournament team. They had everything they could do to try to stop her, and
still couldn't.
And so it wasn't like she was out there playing against a average team. I mean, White Bear Lake is good, and it was impressive.
We debated this on our Sunday night show, and I want to ask you this before I let you go. There's a legitimate case that can be made for Moorhead High to have the Mr. Hockey winner in Carter Ranklev and Miss Basketball winner in Sam Hybe. What do you say when you hear that?
Well, we have, I sit here a lot of nights, and I'll say this, I sit here a lot of nights, and I have my entire time here, and this year maybe is a little bit extra special with just some of that individual talent, and I feel lucky to get to watch these kids compete. And you go back to the fall and you toss somebody like Otis Weah in that equation.
It just was MVP at the Minnesota All-Star football game.
MVP at the Minnesota All-Star football game. And you just feel really lucky, but it's also a tribute to the work that those kids do. They put so much time in and effort in. And what I would just like I don't care if you're a Moorhead kid or a Fargo kid watching this or where you're from, none of these kids has it happened by accident. They are just workers. If you watch Carter, Sammy, and so many of our other great athletes, they work so hard, and it's so fun to see them have some rewards for those efforts.
Always great to see you. Thanks for hosting us tonight, and have a great holiday, okay?
Thanks for covering, Dom.
Dean Haugo, the athletic director here at Moorhead High School, joining us on our intermission report. We come back. We talked about her. We'll interview her. Sam Hybe, the great, outstanding Moorhead Spud girls basketball player, will join us. Our intermission report continues live from the Sports Center right after this.
I brought my child to fire audiology because he has a condition from birth that may result in hearing loss at an early age. So we've worked with Dr. Fire since he was an infant. I appreciate the kindness and caring that everyone shows at Fire Audiology. They just monitor his hearing and hopefully we can stop any problems. Our lives have changed since working with Fire Audiology because we can be confident that Ethan can hear the way he's supposed to.
The difference is clear at Fire Audiology and Hearing Center. Call for your appointment today.
Hi, I'm Joan London. Today's senior living communities have never been better, and nobody understands your options like the advisors at A Place for Mom. A Place for Mom is a free service to help you find a place that fits your parents' budget, needs, and personalities. Call today. A Place for Mom. You know your family, we know senior living. Together, we'll make the right choice.
Call A Place for Mom to get your free ebook on financing senior care. Call 1-800-319-8835.
First out the door when it matters most. From all across the globe to every corner here at home. He asks, he listens. For more than a decade, he's been right there, everywhere. David Muir, covering our world. And when American jobs are on the line, he leads the charge. ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast. And we thank you.
Back live inside the Moorhead Sports Center on the Taco John scoreboard. It reads Moorhead 3, Roseau nothing. Get ready for the start of the third period. We've got a special guest to join us, one of the better basketball players in the entire state of Minnesota. She'll be playing at the University of Nebraska next year. Sam Hybe joins us here in our intermission report. We were just talking about it, so I got to start about Saturday's game against White Bear Lake. You guys win the game, which is always the most important thing. You scored 54 points. You had 46 of them. Take me through that game. What the heck was happening on Saturday?
Yeah, I honestly didn't. I had no idea what that was anything about it. But after the game, my coach had told me that, and I was pretty shocked. But it's my teammates who got me the open looks, who allowed me to score those points, and we got the win, so that's all that matters.
Well, Dean Hauge was just telling me White Bear was doing everything it could to stop you from scoring. What were they doing in it, and why were you in such a flow on Saturday?
I think we started out pretty rough. It was 16-14 at halftime, but I think we all picked it up in the second half. They were pressuring the ball pretty well. We got some good looks, and I think everything was just flowing in the second half.
How have you dealt with the expectations this season? You knew full well you were going to get double-teamed, maybe even triple-teamed some nights. How has that gone so far? It seems like it's going okay so far, but how have you dealt with knowing each night you're going to get every team's best shot?
Yeah, we got a lot riding on this season after what we did last year, so I think everyone has high expectations for us, and I know our main goal is to get to the state tournament this year, but we're going to have to put in a lot of work again, and I think we are going to step up to that challenge.
You know, you and I visited back in May when you made your announcement you're going to go play in Nebraska. How much was that like an elephant off your shoulders to say, okay, it's finally the recruitment stuff was done and now you can relax and play basketball?
Yeah, it was a cool process. I enjoyed going through it for the most part, but it got pretty long, and once I finally made my decision, it was a good feeling.
Has it been fun now just to be back and not have to worry about all the other extraneous stuff off the court?
Yeah, just keeping up with the coaches too, and now I know where I'm going, so I can just focus on them, and I enjoy calling them once a week or whatever and talking to them about it. So yeah, it's been good.
I was there on signing day. Describe that emotion to say, okay, now it's officially official.
Yeah, it was a great feeling to say that. Once I committed, I knew that's where I wanted to go, and then finally sign that national letter of intent was a great feeling.
What about Nebraska? Why was that the spot for you to go?
I think the coaching staff and I had a really great connection, and then once I visited there, the support from Husker Nation was pretty incredible, so I knew where I wanted to be.
Not too far away from home either, right? Coach Amy Williams down there used to coach at South Dakota, now the head coach at Nebraska. Describe your team's season. Off to a really nice start already. You beat Elk River to start, and I know that had to feel extra sweet considering that was the team that ended your year last season.
Yeah, this was the third season, I think, that we started our season off the team that ended our season. So it was a really great feeling beating
I don't know if Coach Carlson's doing that on purpose to you guys. I'm not sure.
Yep, beating the defending state champions, undefeated season they're coming off of. So yeah, that felt good, and then we took a tough loss to Wayzata, a really good good basketball team, but I think we bounced back, and we'll try to get a couple more this weekend.
What is the vibe like, Sam, in the hallways here when you've got hockey going along the way that is? You guys are off to a really nice start. Boys basketball is hoping for big things this year. What is it like when talking to the different student athletes around school?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of talented kids in Moorhead High. Carter Rancliffe was just on Sports Center. That was pretty amazing. The hockey team's got a lot of good players. The boys basketball team is going to do well too, I think, this season, so it's pretty cool.
What are you expecting here rest of the season? You know you're gonna get quadruple team now the rest of the way?
We'll see, I guess. We'll just have to play it here from there.
Well, let me, as we go forward now, the rest of this season, you obviously got Christmas break coming up, and then the real fun starts as section play. What do you see of this team that you guys had some great rebounders last year? What do you think is going to be the real strength of this team going forward, knowing that everybody and their brother is going to try and stop you?
Yeah, I think we're going to continue to look to push the ball and keep the tempo up pace, press the full game. We got 2 games coming up this weekend that are pretty big, and then next Thursday against St. Michael is a huge one for us, so we're going to try to get that one too.
Be a fun game to watch. Thanks for doing this. Have a great holiday, and good luck the rest of the year, okay?
Thank you.
Sam Ivey, the outstanding guard for the Moorhead Spuds, joining us here on our intermission report. We'll come back with highlights of the first period, get you ready for the start of the third. It's Moorhead 3, Roseau nothing after 2. Back to Moorhead after this.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Great-grandpa always said, it's the Dahlstrom difference.
What is the Dahlstrom difference? It's our people.
From the first person who greets you when you walk in, to our sales team in the showroom, to the technicians under the hood, we take pride in bringing you dependable service every day.
It's the Dahlstrom difference.
We take care of you, just like you'd expect from a neighbor. When you visit us, you'll discover what others in the region already know.
It's the Dahlstrom difference. Right, Grandpa?
Find new roads at Dahlstrom Motors, Oslo, Minnesota.
This has been the Cass Clay Intermission Report.
Back inside the Moorhead Sports Center, along with Dean Wilson, our great technical crew, I'm Dom Izzo. We'll look at our second period highlights. Coach started on that goal by Parker Larson, which is still officially credited to him. It still looked like it may have been deflected. Roseau had a chance to get back into it as that puck went through the slot. And then it was Rancliffe to Cole O'Connell, a great backhand goal. That made it 2-0. That was a fabulous piece of work there.
Yeah, kind of threading the needle a little bit, a little saucer pass in there and backhand it in.
Then after that, the Spuds add another. Kyler Clevin with a fabulous deflection down low, and that made it 3-zip.
You know, they're putting things on net, you know, and they're hovering around, seeing a tip or knock something in. They got 2 goals by it.
So what do we hear in this third period? What do you see for Roseau? How do they adjust and get back into this hockey game?
You know, there's a lot of time, but the way this game's been flowing, they know they got to start chiseling away, you know, and they don't need 3, but they got to get a goal, make it a little tighter, get 1 goal, hopefully get 2, and get back in it. You know, the old saying, next goal's big.
Right.
In this game, if Spuds pop 4, I think Roseau's in trouble.
What about this? I know your first time to look at Moorhead. What do you think so far? This team ranked 5th in the state. A lot of expectations, a lot of hype. We've talked about it. What have you seen through the first 2 periods?
You know, I just like the balance of the team. You know, I'm trying to look at some big standouts. Obviously, their number 1 line's pretty darn good. But, you know, I think tonight I've been impressed with the depth of the second and third line.
Have been really good to me, too.
You know, and I think that's what's kind of dropped off for Roseau. You know, their upper-end players obviously are good. And then you got guys like Frisk on the D that he'll step up in the offensive attack. He doesn't come off because he's also an offensive threat.
Right. And then you got the guy in the back. He's only had to make 9 saves so far in Lance Leonard, but pretty rock-solid guy in the back back end, too.
Well, those games are tough, too, if you're not getting a lot of shots. You get a little cold. But, he's been in these situations. He prepares himself differently. And, obviously they got a good goalie back there, too.
This Roseau Ram team, hopeful that they can get on the board against this Spud team they've met so many times, of course, throughout the years. We mentioned earlier in our broadcast they went for the section championship. One of the two of them has won it 25 of the last 28 years. When Bemidji got in there and made state, I think everybody was like, what's going on in Section 8AA? And then the Powers have come back, and we fully expect them to be probably making a deep run come late February and early March to one of these tours fighting for a spot in St. Paul.
And no doubt again, and I always think about Roseau too, they're not in that locker room panicking. Like I said, I keep talking about the rink rats. They're staying cool. They know what they got to do. They're not going to overreact. They're going to try to chisel away at it. Moorhead's going to keep throwing things on net, keep doing the things that are working, get shots on net, banging those rebounds, little misdirection stuff, and popping that first goal, which will be huge in this period.
What do you think if there's one, I don't know if weakness is the right word, a thing that the Spuds you see so far that this is something that maybe a team can exploit? Is there anything?
Right now, it's pretty early. People start watching more game film. They'll start scouting more, see vulnerability. Who's the weakest link if there is one. But I just like Moorhead's balance right now, and I think that's the key to